Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. I appreciate you coming back for another episode. We are here on, yep, you guessed it, Green River, and this is episode number 7. And actually, this is kind of the second time I have recorded episode number 7, but let's not get too deep into the weeds on that. I did have a little bit of a malfunction with my audio and accidentally had disconnected my headset, and so I was sitting here playing and doing all the things that we're basically that we're going to do with this episode, although the first time I did this, it was kind of a little bit different approach. But anyway, I digress. None of that matters. I appreciate you coming back again for another episode here on this fine map. Again, Green River, episode number 7. So just to bring your attention to the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and also I want to bring up the weather forecast because this kind of matters as well. It is a little after, well, actually it's a little before 2 p.m. Here on Green River, and where our money situation is quite dire. We're at $7,333 in the bank, and that's not very much in the grand scheme of things. We're just going to park right over here in the shade. Not that that really matters, but that's what we're going to do anyway. $7,333. Why is that? Let's bring up our map here, and you'll kind of fill in the blanks here. We have begun seeding. Obviously, we did field number 14 in a previous episode, seeded that with Sugarbeets, and we've also put down our 2 fields of wheat, 18 and 19. So that's really where our money has essentially gone, is in the expense of feed and fertilizer. So we need to head over to our production facility, and at the very least, we've had the guys over there at the production facility load up our tipper trailer that goes with our semi with compost. And so we're going to go and sell the compost just so that we keep our money and everything in the black. I want to basically make sure that we try not to go under if it's at all possible. As I sort of spelled out in the first episode, we can certainly borrow money from the bank. We have no bank loan, and we have very good credit with the bank, so we can certainly do that, but I'm going to try to avoid that if at all possible. And so we're essentially going to attempt to do that by the fact that we're going to try to sell compost or sell other things from the industrial area over here as and when we need to boost our money. So the compost facility has been running pretty much non-stop. We put in some really old material. Of course, we've been putting in some wood chips that we have been harvesting from the forest and getting those in, and some straw, and just pretty much anything else that we can get. The compost facility does occasionally buy material from folks, and so I realize this is loud, so my apologies for that. But in any event, we are connected, and let's go ahead and pull this Flegel trailer over. Actually, we can't get there from here, can we? No, we cannot. So we need to do a U-ey here and head around and go around to the front over at the seed store, at the garden center. That's what it's called. Hope everyone is doing just fine. I am having a wonderful day. It is 18th of April in the real world. Not that any of that really matters, because we are obviously in the virtual world here. And this is the same game day as we were in for episode number 6. So really trying to keep the number of episodes per game day right now at around 2. We may obviously, once we get all the seeding and everything done, we may skip some days as far as days being played for recording purposes. Obviously, I'm going to continue to play this map, and that's one of the reasons why I've kind of wanted to scale things back to just one map for right now. And of course, you still are watching the occasional Tazewell County. I've kind of slowed the video release of that series down just a little bit. And so we'll be wrapping that up in probably another episode or two. And let's go ahead and dump this and see how much we will get. It was roughly about 47,000 liters of compost. And hopefully this will be in the neighborhood of about 50, maybe 55,000 or so that we'll get. Hopefully. 55,657. And no, ladies and gentlemen, I did not rehearse this before that, but I know that when we have sold 50,000 liters in the Penta DB50, which holds a little more than this tipper does, obviously we've been getting close to about a $60,000 payday. So that other 3,000 liters or so is pretty beneficial to us, so that we can haul over here. But $62,990, that will buy a lot of seeds and a lot of fertilizer to help us finish out the rest of our planting. We do have a number of fields where I don't even think we're halfway on the planting, the seeding and everything, so we do have still a ways to go. So we're going to go ahead and pull this tipper trailer back over to our secondary yard, I suppose. We've been kind of leaving stuff, non-essential type equipment that we don't use on a regular basis over here. So like, for example, our combine harvester is over here, our sugar beet harvester is over here. I think the baler might be over here as well. Of course, we're going to be pulling the baler out here pretty soon, because actually we are going to mow today. It might be just a little bit early. In other words, it's possible that if we waited just a little bit longer, we might have a little bit more grass. But you know, we need to do some things, and about the only other thing that I could really think of that we could do besides mow would be to perhaps go over and cut some more wood chips. But if we look at our weather forecast, and that's kind of the reason why I'm choosing to mow at least a little bit today, is because of our weather forecast. We obviously have nice sunny skies today, 61 temperature for the outside air temperature, and 41 degree soil temperature, so that's all good. But look at the rain forecast for the coming days in the week. We've got rain 3 of those days, so basically spring, we essentially have 5 more days of spring after this one, and 3 of which have rain. So we can seed in the rain, obviously. That may not be done necessarily in the real world so much. It kind of depends, I guess, on how much rain is coming and what the field conditions are. But we don't get penalized, as I've said before, with seasons. So if we need to seed in the rain, we'll seed in the rain. Otherwise, we won't. But basically, we can't mow in the rain, because I do not want to lose a single blade of grass to the rain. So let's go ahead and just, this is some total mix rations that I had one of the workers bring over for us, over from the mixing station where we just came from. If you're just joining this map, I would invite you to check out the first episodes if you haven't already, because it will kind of help you understand what it is that we're doing and how things are laid out here between kind of the 2 areas. And again, it's kind of, I'm leaving equipment that we are currently using. Things like seeding equipment, plows, cultivators, and stuff like that are here in this farm area. Once we get done with those pieces of equipment, we'll move those over to the secondary yard, and then bring over the combines and other things over here most likely. So we're just going to top up our animals really quick here. Let's just take a look and see where they are in relation to what needs to be done. So they probably could use some silage, just silage by itself. So we'll possibly do that off camera. But like I said, we want to get to mowing, because we probably are going to mow and most likely tedder and get some hay going. Hay both for production, our own use, animal use, as well as let me get out of these trees, as well as hay for our hay pellet facility. So we can get that fired up, and if we can get the hay pellet facility fired up, then guess what? We're in the hay pellet business until straw comes along, and then of course we can certainly make some straw pellets as well. All right, we get this bad boy here fired up, and I will tell you that my friend Doug Zorley of Doug Zorley Gaming, and if you don't know who that individual is, please look down below in the video screen, and you will. I tell you what, let's actually go out the other way, because that way we'll come into the meadow from the street side. But if you don't know who Doug Zorley is, you are missing out, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, very, very talented YouTube content creator. Not been doing it very long, but he is certainly talented and gives a very unique twist to his Let's Plays. Of course, Doug Zorley is an Australian citizen, so he's got the Aussie accent and all of that character and everything that goes along with it. But he is known as the Lord of the Grass, and he can basically take a big M and he can make that big M do things that, well, we just ordinary mere mortals are unable to do. So let's go ahead and get this thing unfolded. And also, while I'm telling you about my friend Doug Zorley, I also should mention my other partner in crime, and that is, of course, Eustace Farmer. And if you do not know who Eustace Farmer is, well, you need to check out his channel as well, and you'll find links to both Doug Zorley as well as Eustace Farmer and a number of my other good friends who are excellent content creators for YouTube, also listed down below the video. So this big M, now if you watch my channel on a fairly regular basis, you know that I have used the big M before, and I quite enjoy it. The big M was a machine that I used quite a bit in FarmSim 15, because I used to do quite a bit of BGA work in FarmSim 15. It's usually how I made most all of my money and everything. I did a lot of career mode play in FarmSim 15 that I really haven't done that much of in 17. But anyway, this is a little bit different big M. Now, you know that in FarmSim 17 there was an issue with the first big M that came out with its ability to do the widespread grass cut. So in other words, when I say widespread grass cut, I'm talking about having it not consolidate all the cuttings or all the clippings into a nice windrow. It would basically spread it out the width of the big M, the mower itself. And that, of course, I think got broken in one of the updates that came out for FarmSim 17 very soon after 17 was actually released. And for quite a long time, we've not had the ability to do a widespread or wide cut function with the big M in FarmSim 17 without it like piling huge heaps of grass everywhere. Well, that problem has been addressed, at least with this particular version of the big M, and it will do a widespread cut. Now, I'm opting not to do that just simply because we're going to pretty much take this and we're going to ted this windrow and turn it into hay, most likely off camera. And then when we come back together for another episode, and most likely there will be another episode in this game day, we will do our pellets. We'll do our our hay pellets, I should say. We'll do that, and this also will give us the luxury that if we get a lot, I don't know what sort of the yield, I don't know how much yield we're going to get out of this cutting necessarily, but if we have a lot as we start pelletizing this material, it's possible that I may go ahead and bring the baler around and go ahead and bell the rest of it, just simply because there's only really so much pelletizing that I think that we can do on camera before it will start to get boring for you folks, and then also because it is a little bit of a labor-intensive process on my part, because obviously we've got to load the pelletizer machine inside the pellet hull, And then we also have to make sure that we stay on top of the bagging process to make sure that we empty the pallets, move the pallets around as they come off the assembly line. And so so we need to, kind of be focused on that. And I think that maybe, do a few thousand liters of pellets, and that'll kind of tell the story that we need to tell as far as hay goes, and then maybe we'll do the same with the straw. Again, just really trying to make sure that we don't get things too boring for you all. I so appreciate you taking the time to watch my episodes. It is something that I enjoy, knowing that you folks are watching my content, and I enjoy putting the content out and everything. And I do try very, very hard to make sure that the things that I do, the videos that I make and everything, are things that you're going to be interested in, not only seeing, but also returning and watching more and more content. So we're about halfway through this video, about 16 minutes on the clock here. And again, I think we're just going to kind of continue with this and just kind of make this probably an episode. I'm going to go ahead and grab us a screenshot, because obviously we haven't done the Big M in quite a long time, so this will obviously tell a story. And we'll go ahead and grab that right there. That looks pretty good. All right. Hope everyone is having a wonderful month of May. I know I say that quite often, but I really do mean it. I genuinely want to know that everyone is having a good time. Let's see, you're watching this episode on Friday the 11th of May, so my gosh, I mean, I know probably just a few episodes ago I probably said something about, before we know it, Memorial Day is going to be here. Well, Memorial Day will be here not very long from now, and it really is, the year has gone by so quickly. It's quite interesting just how time flies when you're having fun, and of course playing Farm Sim 17, recording content, editing that content, making that content available for you all to watch, whether it be Farm Sim or Truck Sim or whatever, is all very fun and entertaining for me. I really, really do enjoy it, and I wish I had more time to devote to it. And I know that you've kind of been watching 5 and 6 episodes a week here in the last couple of weeks, and so one might say, well, Jerry, it sounds like you have a whole lot of time available. I would dearly love to be able to do more things, like, for example, I would really love to be able to have more time to stream, and of course I'm not contemplating making any sort of change to my format. I would never envision that I would become a full-time streamer. I like the art of video production. Remember, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I first went to college for audio, video, radio, television production. And so producing, now I never really envisioned myself in front of the camera. I was always envisioning myself behind the camera in some production aspect, and certainly not a talent or anything like that, because let's face it, folks, the amount of talent I have for things like that, you could stack on the end of a needle, and I'm not even talking about the head of a needle, but the point of a needle. Is really how much talent that I have for those kind of things. But in any event, it was something that was sort of near and dear to me. I did a lot of video production in high school, helping out the sports teams and the other drama departments and stuff like that. I was kind of like the only guy that would ever consistently raise my hand and say, yeah, I'll volunteer to videotape this or videotape that or whatever, and it just kind of became a career within my high school, within the last 3 or 4 years of my high school age, my high school time. And I went to college for sort of that discipline, and I don't know, I guess I changed my mind, as I think as one sometimes does. I think when you get into, I've had many friends who went to college to become something or another, and for whatever reason, once they kind of got to college and got all situated and everything and started studying for whatever that discipline was, whatever that profession was, they sort of changed their mind, they changed their major, and so that happened to me. But anyway, I sort of see it all as kind of part and parcel to kind of what I'm doing here, is that, I just enjoy that type of work, and I enjoy doing the recordings. I enjoy playing the game and recording my gameplay, as I'm doing right now, as I'm talking to you all about this stuff. But equally as much, I think I enjoy the post-production aspects of it as well. And it's kind of interesting because today I was watching one of Doug Zorley's videos, and he was kind of going over some of the details behind his production methodologies and everything, kind of the reasons why he does things the way he does it. And of course, the way he explains it is a lot of it is because of necessity. His bandwidth is quite low on the uplink or on the upload side of things, and so it takes him a considerable amount of time. I really forget now what number he threw out as far as how long it takes to upload a 30 to 35 minute video, which is kind of his format as well as mine as well. But it's something like in the neighborhood of an hour and a half or 2 hours just to upload the video. Now, of course, I've got upload speeds of, takes me probably 5 minutes to upload a 30 to 35 minute video. So considerable difference. And of course, so he works kind of in a queue or a kind of a backlog type scenario because of that. I work sort of in a backlog queue type environment, just simply because I do travel occasionally for work and I have other commitments and other things, and I just really like having the peace of mind knowing that I've got content that I can put out on the channel, and basically my workflow is somewhat similar to Doug Zorley's in the sense that I will record an episode, and typically like I'm doing this in the evening, so it's the evening of the 18th of April, it's Wednesday, hump day, and I've had a good day at work, long day at work I should say, but still a good day at work. And I come home, I have dinner, watch a bit of TV with the wife, we chill out for a little bit, and then usually about maybe 7:30, 8 o'clock in the evening, I will come down to my basement office and basically fire up the gaming computer and kind of see what needs to be done on whatever map happens to be the one that I'm going to choose to play. And I do, if there's any off-camera stuff that I want to do, I go ahead and do that, and then I basically, come up with a game plan for what I want to spend the next, anywhere from 20 to 35 minutes or so doing for the video for the next episode of this particular map, and I do that. And then I essentially will take that content. Of course, I record my video and my audio in OBS. And by the way, if you kind of want to know my thoughts on getting started in YouTube and kind of not necessarily the definitive guide to YouTube, but certainly my guide to getting started in YouTube, you can certainly go out and look at my blog site. I just published a blog posting today, actually, the 18th of April. Of course, you won't see this video or hear about this blog posting until the 11th of May. But if you go out and look on grizzlybearsims.com, you'll see the blog posting that I'm talking about. But anyway, I kind of talk about the tools that I use and the processes that I use and everything. So I record my video, and my audio is all captured by OBS, and it creates a fairly large video file. I take that video file and I dump that into the video editing software that I use. It's by PowerDirector, or it's called PowerDirector. It's by Cyberlink, and you can get that, by the way, on Amazon, and usually sells for about 50 bucks or so. So it's not going to be the most robust video editing software that's going to be out there, but it works for me. It does what I want it to do, and that is the most important thing, ladies and gentlemen, is find something that works for you. If that's Adobe Premiere Pro or whatever, then that's the tool that you should use. But if you don't have that, and if you don't have the funds for that, or if you don't want to necessarily learn it, I bought this software many years ago for something unrelated to YouTube, and and it worked for that project. And when I started doing YouTube, I looked into other pieces of software, but I was able to get started doing what I do with this particular software, with this Power Director software. It does what I want it to do. I think it does a fine enough job, again, for what my goals are for the channel and everything. And so, I'm happy with the results. And that way I don't have to learn anything new. But I digress just a little bit again. But anyway, I will record the episode and upload that to my machine where I do some of the editing and everything, which happens to be a different machine from my gaming computer, just so that I don't overstress my gaming machine and everything. And that way, if I want to, if it's rendering, because it will take anywhere from about 30 to 40 minutes or so for it to render the video, which produces the video, the compressed video file that I then upload to YouTube. That way, if I want to game or do something else, I'm not overloading that particular machine. But anyway, and then I will upload it to YouTube, and then basically, set that up and can basically configure it to be a scheduled release, and I can select the date and time that the video will release to YouTube. And so I've got maybe about 2 weeks of videos uploaded right now, with another probably maybe weeks worth of videos that are basically already edited, but I have not uploaded them. So I've basically held those back on an external hard drive, and I have them backed up, and then I will, as time permits, I will upload that material and go ahead and schedule that up to YouTube as well. That's just my workflow. Everybody's got their own thing, but I will tell you that very much sort of similar to Doug Zorley's way that he does things, mine works very well for me as well. And it really sort of gives me the peace of mind, because again, I really like to be consistent. I like to have consistency within the things that I do, and that's important to me, and being able to keep to a schedule when I absolutely can. And of course, I know I've often failed at this ability to maintain a schedule, because I get busy and I don't have things in the backlog and all that kind of stuff. But nonetheless, I do try to keep things consistent, and that's really all that we can sort of hope for. I think those of us that do this, especially that do this, part-time, because this is just kind of a leisure thing for me. It's not a full-time gig. I'm not gonna lie to you on that. Okay, so we have what do we have? We don't really have much time left. We're at about 28 minutes and 45 seconds or so according to the timer. But I tell you what we will do is, let's go ahead and just take a few minutes, and we will run over as soon as I undo my parking brake there. Let's go ahead and run over and take the minute and a half or so that it's going to take us. We'll run over and pick up the tedder, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a compromise, and I'm going to say that we're going to have 3 episodes for this game day, because certainly I think I want to do the first part. And I know that we just did this on Tazewell County. We just made some hay pellets on Tazewell County. But since we're going to do the pellet haul and everything, I'm going to do the pellet, making the pellets and everything. I'm going to make that part of the next episode. So off camera, I will do the tethering of the grass to turn that into hay. and then we'll just sort of pretend as if there's been a couple of days have elapsed, and I will come in and we will sort of attack it, because we will need to attack it kind of aggressively. Let's see where. Oh, I know where it is. I still never put it away. It's over here, I believe. In the wash bay is our tedder. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and grab this, and I'll start wrapping things up and just telling you all, thank you all so very much for watching my episodes. I so very much appreciate it. I really, you guys are the bestest of friends. That's not really a word, but hey, you know what I mean. You guys are great friends, great pals, great viewers, and I really appreciate the interaction that we have, that we've had for so long. And I've been doing this for well, a little over 2 years now, and I'm coming up very close to have produced and uploaded to YouTube as part of the Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel 500 videos. I'm probably about maybe a dozen away from hitting that 500 video mark. So that's a pretty good record, I think, or not necessarily a record, but a pretty good statistic, and one that I'm quite proud of. Of course, I did quite a few videos for Farm Sim 15, but of course really got started in the video thing with 17, and that's really when the channel began to really pick up, and gaining the interest of a lot of you guys joined me after I started doing Farm Sim 17 stuff. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And because I'm realizing that it is coming up on 31 minutes, and again, I realize this is kind of awkward because I'm just tedding this windrow. Normally we would ted the widespread grass and then rake it, but we'll have opportunities to do that stuff at a later time. But we've got a bit of weather that's going to give us some problems soon if we're not careful. And so I'm going to go ahead and finish this up off camera, and then, as I said, we'll come back together for episode number 8, which most likely I will be recording probably tomorrow, and we will do the pellet. We'll make some pellets, and then probably bale the rest of this for hay to go into our barn. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to check out and subscribe and like my friends that are also excellent content creators for YouTube. They put out some really wonderful stuff. You'll find all their links and everything down below. And I will just say thank you all so much for watching. God bless you all. Don't forget, take care of yourself and also of each other, and also take care of any of those little four-legged animals that you have in your world. They're awfully special things, and sometimes I wonder if we even deserve animals, sometimes the way that they're treated. But hey, I know that anyone that's watching my channel is not part of that category. So again, thank you for watching. Come back again very soon. Bye bye for now.